Very good morning to one and all. A warm welcome to once again. We start with the lecture series of Computer Communication Networking, TE Electronics and Telecommunication, Semester 6, Mumbai University, Module number 5, Network Layer Design. So, lecture number 31, we start with the non-adaptive routing algorithm. In previous lecture, we discussed about the various routing algorithms. It may be static or maybe non-adaptive, adaptive or dynamic. Then hierarchical routing, mobile routing. These are the various different routing algorithms will be used to route the packets. Routing means forwarding the packet from source to destination. So in this lecture, we see the non-adaptive routing algorithm, their subclassification and one of the numericals to be solved on this method. So first, in non-adaptive routing algorithm means there is a predefined or path between source to destination. So here if I want to send a packet from A to C, so before sending a packet between A to C, the predefined path already existence to the router will be known, or it may be downloaded into the router. So the non-adaptive routing is predefined path in already existence. There is no calculation at the real time. The calculation is done before the network is established. So the non-adaptive or static routing algorithm are classified into three subclass: shortest path routing algorithm, flooding and flow based routing. So let us start with the shortest path algorithm. So in this method, the shortest path between given pair of routers. Suppose a network, here are the routers A, B, C, D, E. I want to send a packet from a pair between A to C, means A is a point, here the act as a source, and C is a point where the destination. So to find out the shortest path, so we can able to send this packet from source to A. So the cost of the link may be as a function of distance, bandwidth, or average traffic, then communication cost or delay, etc. So the cost of the link which is to be selected as a function of distance, bandwidth, or we can say average traffic, delay, or etc., or communication cost. The several algorithms for computing the shortest path between the two nodes. That graph is known as the shortest path. This is the one of the, that is Dijkstra. So the algorithm which is to be mentioned here, that is Dijkstra algorithm, will be used to find the shortest path between source to all destination network. So this Dijkstra algorithm, which is mentioned in 1959 to find the shortest path between source to all possible destination, or particularly one destination, may be all possible destination in a network. So here we define a network. Here is a A, B, E, C, D, F, G, H. So this is my network. To understand the concept of shortest path, we consider an example. There is a cost of the path which will be defined 2, 6, 1, 4, 2, 3, 3, 2. Here is also 2. So consider an example. A is a source and D is a destination. A is a source and D is a destination. I want to send a packet from source A to destination point at D. So there are the various routes which will be available from A, B, E, C, D, or A, B, C, D, or we can select A, C, E. Then how can find out to shortest path between point A to point D? So there are the several algorithms which will be mentioned. So first we define again, we draw a network. We can see here. So this is a B, E, C, D, H, F, G. The labeling works. Look, the weight insulated undirected graphs where the weight represented. For example, the distance is shortest path from A to D. We start making node A as a permanent. So first step, that to step 1, to make node A as a permanent. To define a permanent node, we make as a dark it. So that will be making a node A as a permanent, indicated by fill the circle, and then examine the turn each node to the adjacent as a working node and relabeling to one of the distance. So then make the path. So here we define first, make the node a dark bubble, which is make as a permanent node. In second step, this is step 1, we consider all the nodes, the node which is to be start, source node, make as a permanent node. Then examine the turn on the adjacent nodes, then make the relabeling to each node to the distance, according to the distance. Whenever the nodes are labeled, the labels with node which more than the shortest path A to D, then want to find out them. Having examined the each node, will be examine the tentatively labeled nodes, will the graph once become working node. So we want to start B as a working node and all adjacent nodes to be same. So after each node working, the inspected that all nodes will be defined as an infinity. So first step, we all know the distance from is unknown, so we make as a infinity. So in step 1, we know the distance is unknown from A to D. So we make in such a way that A node as a permanent. So this is our source node and this is our destination node. So at the time we know unknown the destination between these two nodes. Then first we define to insulate the labeling. So distance, we want to find the shortest path between A to D. So we first step to make a permanent node. So here A is a permanent node. Then we define the all the another nodes, the distance from is infinity. In step 2, to find out the adjacent node between these two nodes. So then according to the shortest distance between adjacent nodes, then make the another node as a working node, and the working node is indicated by the arrow indication. To A. Okay, so in step 2 we find out the adjacent node to the A. Initial cost of this A node will be 0 and we can find out the shortest path between these two nodes. So adjacent node is here is a B and G. So we find out the shortest distance between from its adjacent nodes is B is 2 and another is a 6. So we can make a node which has minimum cost. So B as a working node and all others are again the infinity cost. Here is a D, H. So in step 2 we can find out the working node. The similar way we find out the shortest path. If you observe the given here is a make A as a permanent node and we can find out the shortest path between A to D. So first step, make A permanent node from the source having cost 0 and to find out the adjacent node with minimum weightage or cost of the path. So we observe there are the two nodes for these adjacent nodes, permanent node. There is a B and there is a C, but B having very low cost. So we make B as a working node. So we can write as a in step 2 there is a B as a working node which is indicated by this arrow. Then similarly in step 3 we find out the shortest path from B to D and E. So we can get in step 3 here is a permanent node, here is a P is another permanent node, then E, then G, then H, D, F and C. Whenever we find out to repeat the step, again we make a new working node to find out the shortest path between from this. Then in next step 3, B is a permanent node, and to find out next working node, we can find out the cost between adjacent nodes from B to C and B to E. They are the adjacent nodes. So if we observe, there is a 7 and there is a 2. So the cost from B to C is 2, but we can find out path from A to D. So 2 and here 2, there is a 4 plus B, and new working node will be here. So new working node will be here, and the cost from B to C is 9B. Okay, and similarly we can find out same step will be repeated. So infinity, again infinity. Then we go to the next node. If you observe in step 4, we make E as a permanent node, and to find out the two next node which are minimum cost and new working node. So again we draw the graph. So A is here permanent node, B is a permanent node, 2 comma A, then G 6 comma A, so when we observe between to make a new working node from E, so make E is a permanent node, so we can find out there are the two possibilities from this node. From first one is a E to F and second one is a E to G, but minimum cost for new working node should be less, so it from G. So new working node, that is to be now becomes B is a permanent node, E is a permanent node, so new working node will be G is equal to 5 comma E, because the shortest path distance is 1 weightage. Then here C node 9 comma B, and next one is a, here is a path adjacent node to this is a 2, so F is equal to 4 comma 6 comma E, and D is a again infinity, and H is a again infinity. Well, now similarly, whenever G is a new working node, so to make G as a permanent node, we can find out the two adjacent nodes. So if we observe the cost from new working two adjacent nodes, there is a 4 and there is a 5. So if we make the here the cost from G to F, there is a if we calculate is 9, but we find out the shortest path. Here again we return to this path, then we find out there is a 4 plus 2 there is a 6 and there is a 8. So next working node from E, that is F, because this cost from A to B, B to C is 9, but from this here is 8. So we can make a new working node in step 5. So new working node will be F. Now E is a new working node. Then to find out the next working node from this F, and F become permanent node. So there is a possibility of two. First one from here is H, or next one is a C. But when we observe the graph, there is a from 8 and there is a from 9. So 3 plus 6 plus 3 9, and 6 plus 2 8. So new next working node with a minimum cost is H. So we can make F is a permanent node. Again we draw step number 6. So H is a new working node. C, G, A, B, E, D, F and H. So is 2 comma A, 4 comma B, 6 comma E, and new is 8 comma F, is a 5 comma E, 9 comma B. So new working node from this 8 comma F. So my working nodes are permanent nodes A, B, C, E, F, and new working node is H. Again, to find out the next permanent node, which is to be less cost from these two adjacent nodes. So when we observe on this graph, there are the two nodes. So one is the H to E, F, and so the final destination is D. So it is to be come out is 10. So in step 7, so A is a permanent node, B is a permanent node, E is a permanent node, G is a permanent node, F is a permanent node, H is a permanent node, and new working node will be here, and this is the final destination. So which is to be 10 comma H. This is a D, and this is a C node, that is 9 comma B, 6 comma E, 8 comma F, 5 comma E, 2 comma A, 4 comma B. So these are the my permanent nodes which are circled dark, and this is the step number 7. So shortest path in step 8 from A to D. So this is my shortest path from A to B, B to E, E to F, and F to H, and H to D. So this is 2A, 4E, then 6E, 8F, and 10H. So this is my shortest path between A to D. So this is the final answer. Now next we go to the flooding. Next algorithm, that is flooding. So flooding is a concept that every incoming packet is sent out on every outgoing line except the one on the arrived. So the concept of flooding means every incoming packet is sent out on every outgoing line except one at a arrived on it. So the flooding said that every incoming packet is sent out on every outgoing line except on arrive on it. So we can insulate this concept flooding with the example. Suppose there is A, B, D, C, E. So I want to send a packet from A. So there is a B, there is a D, E, F. So I want to send a packet from A to D. So there are the two outgoing lines from this. So we can send every incoming packet. So incoming packet from A, we can send every possible outgoing line. So there are the two possible lines from A, that is B and C. So we can send a packet on also B line to the B, also as to the C line, to the C router. Similarly to this, so this is the concept of flooding. So flooding said that every incoming packet is sent to every outgoing line. So from A is a packet is arrived. So there are the two possible lines which will be sent to packet on line B or their pocket on line C. So this is the concept of flooding. But except the packet is arrived, do not send at the packet will be coming from this. Suppose the packet will be come from here, so there are the two possible outgoing lines from B to D and B to E. So we can send the packet to this line. So this is the concept of flooding. So what are the drawbacks of flooding? So the drawbacks are large number of duplicate packet ungenerated. Suppose I want to send a packet from A to D, so there are possibilities this packet will be sent from here, again this packet will be received from this path or this path. So large number of duplicate number of packets will be generated. So this is the drawback. So how to stop this or eliminate the how can eliminate the duplicate packets or stop to generation of duplicate packet? So first one is by using hope counter. So the hope counter is used, means decrement in each router and discard the packet if counter is 0. Suppose I want to send a packet from A to D, so there is hope count 2. When this packet is received from this to this, if the count is 0, hope count is 0, then the packet will be discarded. So decrement each router. So whenever this packet is visit to each and every hope, that time the counter will be decrement, and whenever it is reached to the destination, if the count is 0, hope count is 0, then the packet will be discarded. That is called as by using hope counter. Then next one is apply the sequence number. Apply the sequence number. So to avoid the duplicate packets, avoid the sending the same packet to the second time, keep each router per source list of the packet already received. So each and every time the packet which is to be sent, so that time each and every time the router must be using the sequence number. So what is the purpose? So avoid sending same packet at the second time with the help of sequence number, and keep in each router per source a list of packet already seen. Then selective flooding. The selective flooding is the third method to avoid the number of duplicate packets. So in selective flooding means use only those lines that are going approximate to right direction, to the right direction. So whenever I want to send a packet from A to D, so to select a approximate path or a direction, so this is the right direction or this may be right direction. So we choose the approximate path which is go to the right direction, that is called as a selective routing. Third one method is called as a flow based routing. So this is a static algorithm which use the topology and load condition. This is a static algorithm, or we can say that it is a non-adaptive algorithm which use, first one is a topology and the load condition, means traffic intensity, for deciding the route, Suppose there is a map of your office. D, here C, B, A, F, G, H. Suppose A is my home and C is my office. I am daily use a route from A to B and B to C. But one day there is a heavy traffic from A to C, A to B and B to C. So there is a heavy traffic. So I want to reach my office. This is my home. This is my office. So I want to reach my office in within a time. So we can choose the route in such a way that according to the traffic and topology condition. So this dotted route with minimum traffic, so we can reach to the destination on the time. So that is called as a flow based routing. So this is my home, this is my office. So this is my source and this is my destination. So according to the two conditions we can decide a route. If some one day there is a heavy traffic from A to C path, so we can choose another path that is shown the less traffic on this dotted line. So this traffic, by using this technique, the flow based routing, following information should be known. First one, advanced subnet topology. Subnet topology means different directions should be in advance will be known. So different directions should be known. From there is a different paths will be available from to reach the C, from A to B to C, then AB to EF, then AG, EFE, then there are the different directions will be known. That is called as a sub-topology. Then traffic matrix. So traffic matrix means whenever we go to the office, that time we know that on which route there is a heavy traffic or there is a less traffic or there is a minimum traffic. So that is nothing but known to the traffic. or traffic intensity on each route or subroute. Then line capacity matrix. Line capacity matrix. So line capacity matrix is nothing but the bandwidth of each line. Bandwidth of each line should be known in advance. So here we deal with the three methods of non-adaptive static routing algorithm: shortest path, flooding and flow base. So we can stop here. In next lecture we discuss about the adaptive routing algorithm. Thank you very much.